What's making you want to quit? What's got you weak as hell? That's the thing that had me starting over. Stuck in the same cycle, not knowing how to push through when life got tough. I was always telling people I'm not some soft ass theorist. I didn't sit around studying books, man. I threw myself into the damn fire over and over again like a sword. You shove a sword in the fire long enough, it gets strong as hell. And then you beat it. You keep beating it. That's how you forge something unbreakable. And that's what I became. We can't fucking quit. You got to figure out what's holding you back, what's making you weak. So I kept throwing my ass back into the fire, and every time I hit harder. I hit harder. And I hit harder. Then something clicked. I started realizing, damn, my mind's getting tough. My brain's hardening up. I'm not just talking anymore. I'm doing it. I threw my ass into hell and tore it apart while I was there, because you can't tear shit apart in comfort. You can't dissect shit when life is 72 degrees and cozy. You break shit down when it's fucking miserable. You tear into your brain when it's screaming, let me out. I can't take this anymore. And you tell it, fuck that. 5 more seconds in the pain, motherfucker. And in those moments, you start breaking your mind wide open. That's what this journey did to me. I kept throwing myself back into the fire, back into the cold, beating the weakness out of myself mentally and physically. And guess what? Eventually, shit started to change. You might get a little result here and there, but it's not permanent. The real lasting change only happens through suffering. You got to engrave that shit on your soul. So when hard times come again, you don't forget what it took to get through it. As you're trying to claw your way out of that pit that whole life threw you into, and don't forget, you help dig at the people down there with you, the ones you call friends. They become part of that misery. They get comfortable in that shit. And the second you try to rise above, those same people start pulling at your heels, dragging you back into the mud. They're like, oh no, man, you ain't leaving us. Get the fuck back here. I still deal with that shit. People love reminding me of who I used to be. All the times I fucked up, all the mistakes. And I realized the worst thing I ever did was losing myself. Hell, I never even had myself. I never knew who I was, no self-esteem. But through grinding, through learning, through suffering, I started to build that self-worth. Once I found that, the doors didn't just open, they fucking exploded. I stopped giving a fuck about what people thought about being judged. Oh, if I say this or do that, are they going to make fun of me? Fuck all that. The second I stopped caring about that shit, that's when my life started to change. Slowly, but it fucking changed. When that alarm goes off at 4 a.m, your mind's screaming, no, hell no. But you tell yourself, this is what we do now, motherfucker. Because the road to where you want to go is full of pain. And I'm not talking about some weak ass physical pain. It's mental. It's the constant grind of doing shit you don't want to do, day after day, to get where you need to be. There'll be more days where you're doing shit you hate than doing shit you love. That becomes your new reality. And when you embrace that, it's like breathing. It's second nature. You don't want to live this way, but if you want to get to the other side, you have to. So if you want to learn from me, if you want to level the fuck up, then let me drag your ass into this hell with me. That's where you're going to grow. That's the truth of it, man. We're fucking terrified to dive into who we are, to face the shit that made us the way we are. But that's where the beauty is. We're all fucked up in our own ways, but that's what makes us who we are. That's what makes me me. I'm jacked up, but I figured out how to unjack myself. You'll get there too, but it's your own path. I don't want too much attention, man. I don't need a bunch of people watching my every move. That's not where my strength comes from. I get stronger when I'm alone, when it's quiet. But the more my story got out there, the more I started realizing I'm not that quiet David Goggins anymore. And look, man, when someone reaches out to me, I don't just ignore them. I hit them back. But it takes something out of me. It drains me because I need that time to regroup, to gain my strength back. Then I realized, man, God put me in a special kind of hell. And that hell became my fucking teacher. Most people don't get that. I'm trying to flip the script on how people look at life. You get these moments, these few moments where you can learn something real. I believe we're all teachers. And if you're not learning from your struggle and passing that shit on, then what the hell are you even doing? You're wasting your life. You've got all this knowledge, all this experience, and some people might call you crazy for sharing it. They might slap a label on you. But then there's that one person who hears you and says, fuck, I needed that. That's who you do it for. So you have to put yourself out there. What separates me from most motherfuckers is this. They take on a big ass challenge and it scares the shit out of them. They see the size of the task and fold. When I heard the pull-up record was 4,020 pull-ups, people were like, oh my God, that's insane. You know what I did? I grabbed a pen and paper. They asked, what the hell are you doing? I said, I'm doing the fucking math, man. What are you talking about? I'm figuring it out. That's what. If I do 5 pull-ups every minute for X number of hours, how many can I get done? How much time can I rest between sets? I was breaking that shit down right there. Here's the thing, you got to be open-minded to the possibility that you can fucking do it. The second you shut your mind off to the possibility that something's achievable, it's over. There's no way in hell you'll ever do it if you've already decided it's impossible. Look, man, I got all these hard-ass lessons because, let's face it, the world ain't a nice place right now. It's brutal. But I'm ready for it. I'm ready for every failure that's coming my way. You know why? Because I never tell myself it's going to be okay. That's bullshit. Life is hard as fuck, but I chose the hard road. While everyone else is looking for the easy way out, I'm walking straight into the pain, into the fire, because I'm preparing for the shitstorm that's coming my way. I don't avoid the hard shit, I lean into it. With success, you get more haters. And here's the thing, don't let that shit get under your skin. Use it. Use their hate as fuel. That person who said you weren't fast enough, smart enough, strong enough, fuck them. Don't kill them with kindness, torture them with your success. Grind so hard they choke on your results. Life's all about pushing through the odds. You got to use every bit of bullshit this world throws at you as fuel. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the damn truth. If someone calls you fat, yeah, they might be an asshole, but maybe you are fat. Someone calls you dumb, it might sting, but maybe you are dumb. That's life. Face it, accept it, and then change it. There's this quote, I don't know who said it, but it hits hard. It says, when 100 men go to war, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 of them are just fucking targets. 9 of them do most of the fighting, and 1 is a warrior. That shit is real, man. I saw it in training. I see it in life. Most people, they just show up to life, taking up space, not doing a damn thing. But there are a few out there putting in all the work. I want to be in that 9, grinding my ass off. And I'm pushing every day to become that one warrior. That's the mindset. Man, I damn near crawled off my couch and cried like a little kid. I went over to my mom's house 20 minutes down the road and bawled my eyes out on her couch, telling her I can't do this. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. We all have those voices in our heads. We like to ignore them, especially the ones that tell us to be real with ourselves. Instead, we listen to the bullshit voice, the one that keeps you cozy, feeds you cookies and milk, makes you want to stay in that comfy ass restaurant. Yeah, we love that voice. But that voice, it keeps you weak. It keeps you fucking soft. People don't want to listen to me because I don't sugarcoat shit. The only thing that's going to change you is the truth, the raw truth. I didn't have the balls to go back and face it for a long time because I kept running to that soft, cuddly voice saying, you don't need to do this. For 26 years, that voice ran my life and I made every damn excuse there was. That's too much work, man. You deserve to take it easy. That kind of bullshit thinking got me to 297 pounds, fat, out of shape, a loser, making $1,000 a month and drowning in my own mistakes. Why? Because when you take the easy road, mistakes are waiting for you everywhere. You take the soft route and guess what? You keep screwing up. But when you choose the hard path, the one that makes you want to quit, there ain't many mistakes over there because it's too damn hard. You don't want to repeat that pain. Once you take control of your mind, shit changes. You stop letting your mind run your life. You make the decisions, not your lazy ass brain. We've all got these two voices in our heads. For me, my routine is simple. Every night I stretch for 2 or 3 hours. Why? Because I'm thinking, planning for tomorrow, showing my mind who's boss. I'm telling my brain I'm in charge here, not you. You struggling to get up? Can't get your ass to the gym early in the morning? That means you're weak. Quit feeling sorry for yourself. Get the fuck up, lace those shoes and start grinding. And here's the real deal, you gotta own your weaknesses. Most people run from them. They hide from the shit they're not good at. But if you want to become a full human being, you gotta face that shit head on. For years, I ran from my weaknesses, didn't want to touch them. But the second I started diving into them, everything changed. I threw myself into the fire over and over, just like a damn sword. You put a sword in the fire long enough and it becomes sharp as hell. That's what I did. I was 290 pounds twice in my life. You think I like doing the shit I had to do? Hell no. But the satisfaction of lacing up those shoes, not wanting to run, but running anyway, that's everything. That's where the growth is. Look, man, the brain's getting hard. The mind's getting tough. I procrastinate like anyone else. I don't want to do shit most days. People look at me like I'm some kind of superhero, but that's a load of crap. I don't want to do it, but guess what? I'm still going to do it. That's the difference. Man, this morning I dragged my ass out of bed early, went for a mile run, came back, and then straight to the gym. On my way there, my neighbor spots me and asks, yo, aren't you afraid of overtraining? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That shit never even crossed my mind. While everyone else was worrying about how much work they shouldn't do, I was too busy working my ass off. I saw the competition out there, they had talent. I didn't. And you know what? I had to grind harder to make up for that. I get it. Science says take it easy, rest days and all that. But let me tell you something. Sometimes you got to shove science out of the way and see what the fuck you're really made of. Those days off people talk about, they think I'm just sitting around watering myself down, taking it easy. Nah, man, that's not how it works. Thousands of miles, day after day, I'm not letting up. There's something inside of you, man, inside all of us. The brain, it's the most powerful weapon we have. It ain't your phone, your computer, or some magic formula. It's your fucking mind. And when you learn how to tap into that, man, you can drag yourself out of the pits of hell and grow into something unstoppable. But people don't get it. It's all up here in your head. When you're in a fight, what do? You attack, you keep attacking. You can't let the enemy think for 1 second you're going to back down. You got to break their soul. That's what I figured out. I wasn't breaking the soul of anything in front of me before. So I came up with the concept of taking souls. It's in my book. I started figuring out how to break the soul of anyone or anything that stood in my way. You keep attacking relentlessly, and nothing wants to stand in front of that kind of fire. You got to go after shit like it's a life or death battle. And trust me, they're going to remember the one who didn't stop attacking. You can hate me all you want, but you can't say I didn't go all out. Getting mentally tough, it's a damn lifestyle. You don't make your bed? Make it. You don't want to go for that run? Go run anyway. Feel like hitting the snooze button? Fuck that, get up. Don't want to clean your house? Get that shit done. It's about callousing your mind every single day, doing the shit that sucks. And guess what? It's not going to be fun. But that's how you grow. You got to push yourself into uncomfortable situations until they don't feel uncomfortable anymore. Look, man, if you want to be great, if you want to be the best at what you do, you're going to be misunderstood. People are going to question your obsession. You're going to be so driven that others won't get it. But that's what it takes. Every second of your life has to be dedicated to it. People love to talk about balance, right? Sure, balance works for most people. But if you want to hit that edge, that place where nobody understands you, where they don't like you because they're threatened by your focus, that's where you're going to lose 100 pounds. That's where you're going to push past your limits. The answer? Stop procrastinating. Stop wishing for things to get easier and just fucking outwork your calories. Get after it. And I used to be that weak ass version of myself who just wanted everyone to like me. I'd bend, I'd change, I'd become whatever the fuck they wanted me to be. If someone liked something and I didn't, guess what? I pretend to like it too, just to fit in. Man, and that's some weak ass shit. If you want to be more than what you are right now, you got to stop giving a damn about people liking you. Fuck their opinions. You need to be unapologetic. You need to own your weirdness, your intensity. Let them think you're off. Let them think you've got issues. That's how you become who the fuck you're meant to be. Stay unapologetic, get after it. The realest conversation you'll ever have in your life is the one in your own head. That's the voice you wake up with. That's the voice you drag around all day. And it's the last thing in your ear when you crash at night. And sooner or later, you're going to act on it, good or bad. People are always going to try to get in your head. The haters, the doubters, the ones who are too weak to go after their own dreams, they're going to try to fuck with yours. They'll try to mess with your mind. But here's the truth, they can't touch shit unless you let them. You got to learn how to live in a world full of distractions and stay undistracted. Keep your head sharp and don't let anyone else own your mind. That's your territory. I get asked all the time, Goggins, how the fuck do you stay in shape with all the travel you do? Here's a secret, man, no fucking excuses. I've got 10 minutes between sessions. I'm busting out core exercises in my hotel room. People love to say, oh, I don't have time, bullshit. You got time, you're just soft. The body can handle anything you throw at it. It's the mind that's always looking for the easy way out, always trying to punk out. So when that voice creeps in saying, you don't have time, shut it the fuck up and get to work. We're all underdogs, man. Doesn't matter if you're the CEO of some big ass company or scraping by, we all have that doubt. We're all fighting something. But here's the thing, everyone's got their own equation. It's like math, all these formulas to solve different problems. We, as humans, we're like that too. There's no one size fits all book for how to be a beast. I can't hand you a 5-step manual and say, do this and you're good. No, man, you got to figure out your equation. What makes you tick? What's going to push you to that place where everyone else quits? But you dig in and say, fuck it, I'm staying here. For me, I had to reinvent myself from the ground up. I was broken. Not just physically, mentally, and spiritually too. I sat at home for years, miserable, fat, out of shape, feeling sorry for myself. Then one day I said, enough. I visualized the person I wanted to be, the person I didn't even believe was possible. But I created him. I saw that motherfucker in my head and decided that's who I was going to become. And guess what? I fucking did it. That's the secret, man. You got to build that version of yourself you're too afraid to be. The one that doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks, that doesn't back down, that keeps pushing when everyone else folds. Figure out your equation and you'll be unstoppable. Listen, man, you weren't born that hard motherfucker, that mentally tough beast. But let me tell you something, that guy can be made. Yeah, he can be fucking built from the ground up, brick by brutal brick. But you got to be willing to say no to all the bullshit along the way, turn down the book deal, shut out the noise, and be who the F you are every single day. And I mean, every damn day. You can't give a single F about anyone who says you're not doing things their way or the so-called right way. I used to be scared of everybody. When you get your ass beat as much as I did, you start living a fucking lie. I spent my life creating fake versions of myself minus 50 fucking people, man. I'd be whoever you wanted me to be just to get you to like me, just to have a friend. And that's where most people F up, trying to fit in, trying to be liked. All that S you've heard about me, it's real, but it's only the surface. The journey to becoming who I am today, that shit was hell, man. But in the middle of all that pain and all those dark days, I figured out who the fuck I really was. The greatest trophy I ever earned wasn't a medal, wasn't a title, wasn't a fucking paycheck, it was me. Standing on that stage, I realized it wasn't about the fame, the money, or being accepted. It was about looking in the mirror and being okay with who I am. And you know what? If people judge me, fuck him. I put up my middle fucking finger and say, this is David Goggins. That's what it's all about, going through your own journey, taking your lumps and figuring out who the hell you are. And once you do that, help the next guy do the same. But you got to be honest with yourself. And I'm not talking about the fake ass honesty most people sell. I was the world's best liar, but the truth will set you free, man. You got to dig into that nasty, fed up path you've been running from and own every single part of it. Whatever your past looks like, abuse, addiction, bullying, that shit might not have been your fault, but it's in your hand now. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to do this for you. You got to own it, face it, and find the courage to rise up and take back your life. This is your fight. And it's time to get in the fucking ring. Let me tell you why I keep dragging that old shit back up, why I'm always talking about the past. Because too many of you are scared of what people are going to think. Scared of being judged, scared of letting the world see the real you. You got to stop that shit, man. You can't live your life hiding from your own shadow, afraid of who you are, where you came from, or the demons you fought. Because here's the truth, every single one of those people judging you has their own fucking skeletons. They just bury the S deeper and don't want to talk about it. So don't buy into their fucking facade. Nobody's perfect. And everyone's hiding behind some kind of lie. Once you finally stop hiding, that's when the real work begins. I used to be lost as fuck, walking through the same muck day after day. When you're in that shit knee deep, all you see is the mess. But here's the thing, you're so busy looking down, you don't even see the fucking sidewalk just off to the side. Get your head up and get the hell off that muck. Once I saw that sidewalk, I stepped up on it. I got a little breather, a different view of my life, but I didn't stop there. I climbed. I found a cliff, then a mountain, and got high enough to look back down on my life and see the whole damn mess I was dragging myself through. And when I was up there, I finally admitted to myself, I'm lying. I'm fucking lying to everyone, trying to fit in, trying to be liked. My whole foundation was broken. I was full of shit. I'd messed up all over the place, lying about who I was just to be accepted. But the worst part, I'd lost myself. Hell, I never even knew who I was to begin with. My self-esteem was buried 6 feet deep, and I had no fucking clue how to dig it back up. It wasn't until I started grinding, working out, learning, putting myself through the fire that I started to find my real self. And that's when doors started opening because I stopped giving a fuck about what anyone thought of me. I stopped caring if people were going to judge me, laugh at me, or call me out. That's when my whole damn life started to change little by little. Being accepted used to kill me, but once I let that S go, everything flipped. You got to figure out what the hell you want for your life. There's so much noise coming at you from every direction, social media, friends, family, you're lost because you're never spending time with yourself. Learn to shut that shit down, turn off the phone, shut the laptop, kill the TV. It's okay to sit alone in silence and face your own thoughts. Ask yourself, where the fuck do I want to be? What do I want a year from now, 5 years from now? It takes some serious discipline to do that shit because we're all addicted to being plugged into the world. But until you face yourself, you're never going to find your way out of the muck. The world's moving 100 miles an hour, man. And you're out here trying to keep pace, trying to fit in, trying to live up to some bullshit standard that ain't even yours. You end up losing yourself in the chaos, chasing after other people's dreams and wondering why you feel empty as fuck. You got to stop that shit. You got to hit the brakes and go into that dark, nasty place in your mind. Figure out who the hell you really are. Most of why y'all are so busy trying to be like everybody else, you don't even know what your own dreams look like. You're living someone else's life, walking around powerless, and you don't even realize it. The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with your own fucked up self. That voice in your head, you wake up with it, you go to bed with it, and eventually you act on it, whether that shit is good or bad. The world is full of haters, people trying to get in your head, trying to knock you off your game. But here's the truth, man. They only win if you let them into your mind. You got to be like those boxers who go off into isolation before a big fight. But here's the thing. Most of us don't get to escape. You got to learn to fight your battles right in the middle of the noise. Stay locked into your own mind and don't let anyone own that shit. I'm out here grinding alone, fighting this war by myself, and I love it that way. Nobody knows how deep this goes for me, and I don't need them to. I don't want them to. I'm an introvert. I thrive in that solitude. That's my fucking fuel. I know there's nobody out here going as hard as me. And if someone's out there grinding, good. That just makes me push even harder. That's what my mentality is about. This whole game is mental. It's a fucking head game. You got to shut down the noise, shut down the distractions, shut down technology. You got to go dark. It's about getting quiet in your mind. Finding that peace in the middle of your storm. We all love the social shit, the parties, the small talk, the comfort of other people, but it's okay to be alone. It's okay to feel unhappy. It's okay to sit with your shit and face it head on. You got to confront the truth about yourself. Who are you really? You got to get brutally honest, man. Ask yourself, what's the real story here? What am I hiding from? Go to that dark place, no matter how long it takes, months, years, whatever. Figure out your purpose, not what society says you should be, but what you want to be. Most people can't find that purpose because their lives are just too damn loud. Once you know your purpose, it's time to get to work. People love to plan because it's comfortable. It's easy to map shit out on paper, but the real shit begins in execution. That's where the pain starts, where the failures stack up. And that's what most people are afraid of. But you got to eat those failures one after another because that's how you build something real. I didn't have a roadmap or anyone to guide me. I was on my own, staring into that mirror, and I had to ask myself, what the fuck are you going to do about it? That's when I started to change. But it wasn't some overnight transformation. It was slow, man. I was 17, walking into that recruiter's office thinking I had it all figured out. Failed the ASVAB a couple of times, got knocked down, and had one last shot. That's when I developed my work ethic, grinding like my life depended on it, because it did. No shortcuts. No easy outs. It's you against you every single day. So ask yourself, are you ready to get in the fight? The most important step you'll ever fucking take in life is the next one. But most of you are stuck, cemented in place like your feet are buried in concrete. You know why? You're scared less of making enemies. Scared of speaking your mind. Scared of what people are going to whisper about you when you walk away. That fear has you locked up, drowning your thoughts and fucking up your decisions. Here's the truth, man. You're always going to have haters, and you better learn to embrace that shit. You could walk on water, and some asshole would still say you're only walking on water because you can't swim. Fuck what they think. Shut out the noise, cut out the dead weight, and understand this. If people don't like you, it means you're doing something right. You're shaking things up. So stay fucking hard. Stay in the fight. This mentality isn't just about one thing. It's about everything in life. Anytime you make the leap from average to exceptional, people are going to come at you. They don't like it when you break out of the box they put you in. It's easier than ever to be a coward these days. Just look at social media. Everyone's got something to say behind the screen. They ain't got the balls to say it to your face. So don't let those fake cameras and likes get in your head. And the worst part, you start molding yourself into a bunch of people that aren't even you, just to be liked. If you can't get over that S, you're screwed. You'll never figure out who the fuck you really are. You'll never chase down your dreams because you're too busy living someone else's. You're trying so damn hard to fit in, to be accepted, that you're living someone else's version of life, not your own. That's how you lose your power. That's what almost fucking killed me. You got to ask yourself, what do you really want? With all this noise coming at you, it's so damn easy to get lost in the madness. You're glued to your phone, sucked into the TV, locked into everyone else's business but your own. You don't even spend enough time alone to figure out what the hell you want. Turn that shit off. It's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to sit in silence and just think about you. Where the fuck do I want to be tomorrow? Next year? 5 years from now? It takes some serious self-discipline to break free from all this bullshit because we're all addicted to being connected, addicted to the chaos. The world's moving fast as fuck and you're out here sprinting to keep up, losing yourself in the process. But you got to take that time. You got to go into that dark, quiet place in your mind where there's no noise, no distractions, just you facing yourself. That's where you find out who the F you really are. Life didn't just hand me this version of myself. I got fucking forged in the fire of everything I went through. I became that weak, broken down person because that's what life turned me into back then. And you know what? That's all right. It wasn't all my fault. But here's the cold truth, man. No one's coming to save your ass. You got to go back, face those dark places where it all went sideways and start fixing that shit. Doesn't matter if it's trauma, abuse, failure, whatever it is, you've got to confront it. It's a nasty, ugly process. And let me tell you something, when you're down in that pit, surrounded by people who are just as fucked up as you, those folks become your friends. You bond over that shared misery. But the second you start trying to claw your way out of that hellhole to rise above, those same people start grabbing at your heels, pulling you back in. They don't want to see you succeed because your success shines a spotlight on their failures. I get it all the time, man. People always want to remind me of who I used to be, dragging my past out of the shadows like they're scared of who I've become. They can't stand it because it means they've been left behind. That's why I'm fascinated by people like the dude who free soloed that rock. He's like me in a way. He's all in. Not because he's fearless, but because he's willing to go all the fucking way. It ain't the climb that impresses me. It's the mental focus, the ability to shut out the whole damn world and chase what's in your soul. When he's on that rock, nothing else exists. Not his family, not his friends, nothing but that climb. You don't do that unless you're willing to die for it. And most people can't wrap their heads around that level of commitment. They're too scared, too fucking comfortable on solid ground, clinging to what's safe. They don't get what it means to put it all on the line for something bigger than yourself.